Hello there, everyone. Welcome to the entertainment slot of Prudence International Television, a program that brings right to your doorstep what entertainment is in the real world. Today on the program, we've brought to you a very spectacular artist all the way from Nigeria. The artist that has been creating waves over a period of time in that country, and not only in that country, but all over Africa, and now extending his terrain to the United States. And to the program today, you have Jesse King, popularly known as Buga. Welcome to the show.
How you doing, my brother?
I'm fine. It's nice to have you on the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, would you like to tell our guests, our listeners, who Buga really is? Tell us a bit about your history.
Well, first of all, thanks be to God. I'm Jesse King Adedara. I'm an artist. I sing contemporary highlife, and of course from Nigeria, Africa, and then somewhere in the Yoruba land. And thank God we're original. This is me.
Now, I'd like us to talk a little bit about yourself, your family background, your family history, and how you've come this far.
I'm a little boy from a clergy home. My dad is a reverend, in Christ Apostolic Church, and I've actually stayed from the beginning of my life in the mission house, from schools to the mission house and all that. And thank God for the gift of music. Because most of us in the family, the 6 of us in the family, everybody handled a musical instrument that we play. My dad played the keyboard. I do play the keyboard. My younger brother played the guitar, and the other one plays the horns. And so I think it's a family thing. So like that, it all started when I was 3. I was in the baby choir. Call it baby choir. Then from there to the other one, from there I began to develop what I had as a talent. So at the time, I discovered myself that I guess I have something in me that has to do with music, that I've actually been having in mind that I'm gonna go on stage one day. I want to sing to people, and So from there, I used to have an organist called Babala. He played Just the Joy of Desire. That I feel the song within me. Then I begin to receive the spirit that something is happening. I think I can do it. Then I started it. So a few years ago, like 15, 16 years ago, which I started professionally. Throughout my university days, that is at State University, which I've been able to pass through, which I read economics education, and my primary school days too, before my university days, occasional primary school. My dad is a clergyman. They take him all around the country. I go with him, So at the time, I started putting myself together, that in a professional way. Which I've studied a little bit of music from church, then adding to what I've studied again in the studio, recording studio. And I started into soundtracks, the movie soundtracks. I produced the backups, radio jingles, like that, Then, when it was 96, and I sat down and said, okay, what can I do to push more about my career? And I noticed that I'm actually falling in love with culture, promoting more of our cultural values. That is where I started. Okay, let me see what I can do to push more on my culture, how do we behave, the way we talk, the way we arrange ourselves and all that. That comes Buga.
Now, when did you realize you were going into music professionally? Was it at the university?
Yeah, like I said, when I was 3, it has actually been me. Like I knew that I'm gonna be in entertainment, and but in the university, I was with the the school theater, You know, I did a lot of, like, I composed a lot of songs, and which a lot of colleagues were like, ah, this is a very good song.
And that takes me to something else.
Yes.
Buga. How did you come about Buga? It's a very, very interesting soundtrack in one of your earliest CDs.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, Buga, the way it is with us, you know, the statement Buga is when you are posing, when you feel like you're top of the world, when you feel like nobody can stop you, you know. So there should be something in you. The line Buga is the confidence that makes you a journalist.
Right.
The word Buga that makes you a confidence to be an engineer. So that word, when you have it, that means there's something in you that makes the confidence in you. So nobody's going to take your daughter away from you. Nobody's going to take your wife away from you because you have something in you. So that word.
Jason, there's something very spectacular we need to talk about. We're going to your style, which actually connotes something with your style of car. Now, tell me, how did you actually carve out your style of music, and what does Buga mean, and what does your style really mean?
Like I said, you see, you need to be original. You see, nobody knows you better than yourself. You know, this is what I like doing. This is my culture. This is what I've hailed from. I think I should be able to say it loud and clear that this is Gobi. We call it Gobi, you understand, in my own area. This is Nigeria and the Yoruba land. That this is to show, to identify, I'm a son of a soil from Africa, right? And to just show the way how you can project more of your culture. Even here, right here in the United States, they don't have their own culture. They have the way they do their own thing, you know, so they project it. So I'm bringing in how you will see me anywhere in a part of the world. Then you'll recognize this is from Nigeria.
That is Buga.
That's Buga from Yoruba land.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Now tell me, in your music career, who would you say is your mentor?
Well, first of all, thank God for the gift of music. It's a wonderful person. I respect a lot of people like Bobby Benson, Rex Loxing, because I sing contemporary highlife. You know, normally highlife is just made of the samba thing, the horns, the drums, and the guitar, and all that. But presently, I've been able to infuse into my music gong gong. We call it gong gong. Then iyaili,
The talking drum.
the talking drums. You know, into highlife. That makes it a little bit different from what we've been having as normal highlife. You know. So, but the way it is right now, you know, I would say respect to people that have been able to bring it together, like Fatai Rolling Dollars, Orlando Julius, the wonderful people. You know.
Now let's talk about one of your tracks. You call it Bolanle.
Yeah.
Who is Bolanle? Is that your wife?
No. You see, Bolanle is just a symbolical thing.
Right.
You know, for like, you know, you do have your own Bolanle. I have mine. Your wife is your Bolanle, right? You know, my wife is my Bolanle. The other person's wife is Bolanle. So Bolanle is just like a name given, you know, to represent every beautiful lady's on heart, you know. So that is just that.
Now, what motivates you into writing of your songs?
Well, I would say my environment, you know, everyday people, you know, my everyday occurrences, you know, put me into writing. You know, check your environment. You see a lot of people, some fighting, some backbiting, some, you know, going from one place to another. Some they feel they are king, some they feel they are servant. You know, you now begin to sit down. You sit down. You begin to write about life. You begin to write about ups and downs of life. You know, the way it is, the way that's been. You know, the way how it's going to be like. You know, you begin to talk about people. You know, understanding about life and people activities. You know, and I go sometimes. I go around to the town. I live in a place where, you know, as an African, you know, where people gather, people come in with different kind of opinions, the ideas. You know, it's not going to be one. We have different kind of opinions. Then from there, I pick my pen. I begin to write that this person is different from this person. You know, so I think from that I begin to have inspiration. You know, to write my songs.
Now, this Bolanle you're talking about, do you have a particular person in mind when you wrote Bolanle or when you signed Bolanle? Do you have
No. That's what I said. Like Bolali is meant for everybody. You know, like a man with a wife. You see, when you really want to, like, you know, get into your woman, you know, there's a way you go about it. You know, because when you check Bolali, baby Bolali, baby alakada arewa ewa sewa. Oh, say every beautiful woman to the husband, they're all beautiful. You know, so there's a way you go about it. So Bolali is just like you having your own woman with you. So no matter the way it is, you know, your woman is just with you, and you know how to go about her. Yeah.
You married?
Yes, I'm married to a lot of beautiful ladies.
A lot of beautiful ladies. Let's have a taste of Bolale. We'll be back.